Coming up on NCC News at 4:40, find out what a local candy shop is doing to get ready for Easter weekend.
A famous alum was on the SU campus today. We'll have reaction from students.
Previewing Syracuse's Sweet 16 matchup, we'll look back at a huge moment on the hardwood between Syracuse and Indiana. NCC News, back at you.
Hello and welcome to NCC News Live at 4:40. I'm Marquise Francis.
I'm Chris Luther. The much anticipated spring season may finally be here.
Gina is outside of our studios to update us on the current conditions. Gina?
Out here, it's hard to believe that it's almost 5 o'clock. The sun is still shining. No rain, no snow like possibly predicted. There's just a little breeze. The current temperature right now is about 46 degrees. It only feels like 40 to 41 degrees though because of that breeze coming from the west at about 10 miles per hour. Stable barometric pressure, about 53% in humidity. I will get back to you guys later for my full forecast and let you know what to expect for Easter Sunday. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Gina. April is right around the corner. That means Syracuse University and hotels in the area are getting ready for one of the biggest weekends of the year.
NCC News reporter Shannon McGrattan joins us now with how the area is preparing for the mass amount of visitors. Shannon?
It's almost that time of year where friends and families from all over the world come to see their loved ones graduate college. But if you're looking for a hotel room, you might have a little bit of trouble. The Sheraton overbooked. And other hotels, if they aren't already at full capacity, are getting pretty close. But for hotel managers and staff, graduation weekend is worth all of the planning.
I love it. Because, you know, this is what you want to be. You want to be busy. People perform in the hotel business better when you're busier than when you're not, because you're just on top of your game. So, yeah, no, we look forward to it.
And once the hotel is booked, Syracuse University colleges have to find a speaker, someone the students can relate to. And although he is known by millions, Mike Tirico doesn't understand why out of everyone possible, Newhouse chose him to speak to their graduates in May.
For whatever reason, some of your peers in the senior class ran out of every other human being alive and asked me to speak at the Newhouse convocation on graduation weekend, for which I apologize up front because I'm not a very good speaker.
The modest New York native spent his morning talking to students from every major to get a little insight on their college experience and also prepare them for the road ahead.
When you have classes that are done at noon and you have the whole afternoon to yourselves, you know, those days end when you get a job.
And if a lack of free time didn't scare the students,
it's not fun, it's a challenge, but you've got to be ready for change. So if there's one small bit of advice I can impart, it's embrace change and be ready for your norm to be kind of rocked for a little bit.
After an hour and a half, Tirico said he still had no idea what his graduation speech was going to be about.
To have this opportunity and give back and share some of my experiences with them was a win-win for everyone. So over the next few weeks, I'll figure out how to take some of their thoughts and some of my...
Well, so Shannon, Mike Tirico's a big name, so what were some of the student reactions to him?
The students were so excited to see him. They lined up actually afterward to all get pictures on their cell phones with him. And he joked that when he was at Syracuse back in '91, they wouldn't have had this kind of technology, which was kind of cool. But one thing that he did say was he didn't remember his graduation speaker, which is why he wanted to talk to the students and was so adamant on getting their opinions and getting their view on their experience at Syracuse. So he can kind of relate to all of us when he comes in May.
It's always nice to have someone like that visit the campus. Thank you very much, Shannon. Cameron Group representatives are in early discussions today with the Onondaga County Industrial Development Agency about a tax break for the proposed Township 5 project. The Camillus Town Board approved the project, which will include 500,000 square feet of office, retail, entertainment, and housing developments in the town of Camillus. Once construction starts, it should only take 12 to 18 months to complete the project, but some buildings could be finished sooner.
Initial phase of it, Costco could open as early as November of this year.
But I'd like to challenge any first discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Do you want to make the resolution?
The total cost of the project is estimated at $50 million. Township 5 will also make road improvements to 4 intersections in the town. The New York State Senate passed a bill in response to the deadly carjacking in Clay earlier this week. The bill, which now heads to the Assembly, would make it a felony to carjack a vehicle with a child under the age of 16 inside. The broken waist-high lights along the connective corridor on University Avenue will begin to be repaired with a protective steel sleeve. The lights, broken last fall, will be covered in a red steel cage for a cost of $300 each. City of Syracuse Representative Owen Kearney says the project could be done very soon.
Within the next 2 months, so very quickly. It's a priority of both the city and the university.
The steel protectors will be vandal-proof, according to city officials.
The new Cancer Center at Upstate University Hospital held a ceremony this morning in celebration of the progress thus far and its near completion. The center ceremoniously put up 2 beams today full of signatures of cancer survivors and their loved ones. There will be a glass ceiling so that the beams can be seen once the building is complete, as it is set to be open in May of 2014. And Easter season, and not Valentine's Day, is the busiest time for candy shop businesses, according to one local retailer.
Gino Zarillo is here, and he visited Stone's Homemade Candy in Oswego. They detailed how they're dealing with no projected increase in spending this year. Gino?
Yeah, Chris. Well, candy sales during the Easter season go through the roof, and with Easter right around the corner, I wanted to see just how a store prepares for such an important weekend. Stone's Homemade Candy in Oswego was nice enough to let me in and see just what goes on in producing these delectable holiday treats.
With Easter Sunday approaching, local candy stores are enjoying one of their busiest times of the year. Stone's Homemade Candy in Oswego offers a variety of Easter-themed products, ranging from the classics like chocolate rabbits and robin eggs to unique items such as the popcorn bunny. Store owner Margaret Statuette says that she gets plenty of special requests during Easter season, but isn't always able to meet her customers' demands.
When you're working with molds, you have to have a mold to put your chocolate in. So they can special request, but if I don't have the mold, I can't do it.
Statuette has owned and operated Stone's Candy with her husband since 1973, but says that her workload hasn't gotten any lighter over the years.
You're a small business. You can't afford to have people here. You have to work along with everybody else.
According to a report by the National Retail Federation, Americans will be doing approximately the same amount of Easter spending that they did last year. The average consumer spends about $20 on Easter candy.
Baskets filled with assorted treats such as these here are some of Stone's Candy's most popular items during Easter season. Now, while these baskets are priced at just under $40, Stone's does offer less expensive baskets. However, those were quickly purchased by customers looking to celebrate this Easter on a budget.
While Stone's Candy has had a busy week, Statuette says that the most hectic day is yet to come. That would be on Saturday, when last-minute shoppers are known to push the line out of the store.
So, Gino, on Easter, people buy candy, but I'm assuming they're going to spend, $20, $30. So how do these stores actually make, money?
Well, Marquise, the National Retail Federation report said that the average American spends about $20 on Easter candy, but from the short time I was in Stone Homemade Candy, I saw a lot of people spending maybe 3 or 4 times that amount.
Gino, I know I will spend much more than that. Easter bunnies, they're my favorite. Coming up, Syracuse basketball enters the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in the last 5 years this Thursday.
They face off against the Indiana Hoosiers. NCC News looks back at the last time these two teams met in the tournament, a 74-73 loss for the Orange in the 1987 championship game. When we return, we'll look at around the nation as big-name politicians tour the country to discuss a potential immigration bill.
And North Korea continues to increase tensions with their neighbors to the south. Back after this. Yeah,
so
it was
where
actually.
we at right now? Oh, I read this already. New York Senator Chuck Schumer and John McCain started touring the U.S.-Mexican border today.
Both senators have been trying to come up with an immigration reform package with bipartisan participation. President Barack Obama said he expects the process to move quickly.
I expect a bill to be put forward. I expect the debate to begin next month. I want to sign that bill into law as soon as possible.
Chicago authorities dealt with turnout of thousands at a rally held this afternoon to protest the announcement that 53 elementary and 1 high school will close later this year. The school closings are a result of a $1 billion deficit in the district. The consolidation will save Chicago an estimated $200 million. Parents responded, though, with confusion and anger over the closings. Indiana Supreme Court upheld the state voucher program that awards middle and lower class families public funds to help fund students who want to attend private school. As many as 9,000 students currently use the state voucher system, with more than 80% of those using the money to attend religious schools. Opponents say this leads to schools competing over students and challenges the laws of the highest authority.
We literally have schools picking their students rather than students picking their schools, and I think it flies in the face of the Indiana Constitution.
A family of 4 with an income of $64,000 a year is eligible for $4,500 of aid in what is considered one of the most extensive state voucher systems in the country.
Now, Syracuse University doesn't struggle with this problem, but Boston College, a Jesuit school, is a different story. Administrators are putting in an effort to shut down a student-run program to distribute condoms and provide information on safe sex. School officials are threatening disciplinary action against these students. Students behind Safe Sites, which is the collection of dorm rooms serving as outlets for condoms, lubricants, and other materials. The tug-of-war between both sides could end up in court. As debate across the country continues against the war on guns and keeping far from students, one Colorado school district has allowed them into the schools. Colorado's Dolores County voted unanimously last month to allow its superintendent and a high school principal to carry a concealed semi-automatic pistol on campus, a move that many say adds fuel to the fire of guns in America. A Michigan Attorney General has requested a criminal investigation into the Massachusetts company linked to a recent deadly fungal meningitis outbreak. The state has seen over 250 infections and 14 deaths related to the outbreak since last year, according to the Attorney General. The outbreak is said to be related to tainted steroid injections from a New England compounding center that has killed 51 people and infected 730 nationwide.
In an increasing war of words, North Korea vamped up their rhetoric today by cutting off the only military hotline connecting them with South Korea. In recent weeks, North Korea has released propaganda videos on the internet and conducted multiple military exercises, going as far as testing a nuclear weapon underground. Leader of the North, Kim Jong-un, said he would like President Obama to give him a phone call, but the United States has decided to stick with multilateral diplomacy instead. An earthquake shook the country of Taiwan today. The 6.1 quake shifted buildings and sent school children and pedestrians seeking cover in the capital of Taipei. At least one office worker was injured, according to reports. No other major damage occurred.
The country of Myanmar has imposed additional curfews in towns in an attempt to stop Buddhist groups from setting fire to mosques and Muslim homes. A state of emergency was declared after last week 2 communities broke out in clashes between one another, leaving 40 people dead. The new dusk to dawn curfews put in place in the townships of Geobinkuk, Akpo, and Milla have been set to be in action immediately. The unrest has rolled over to businesses and schools as they closed earlier to avoid disaster. In another act of humility, newly appointed Pope Francis has decided to stay in his simple Vatican residence instead of moving into the spacious, regal, papal apartments, according to the Vatican. The Pope's new residence on the top floor of the Apostolic Palace is ready to be moved into, but he has decided to stay at his current residence, the Casa Santa Marta, for the time being. Pope Francis has given no mention of when he might move out of his two-room suite, but the Pope is using his new residence for the office space and to carry out his papal duties that include meeting and audiences. Coming up on NCC News at 4:40, Gina Lazaro will let us know if the sunny weather will continue.
I sure hope so, but your full weather report is next. Stick around.
Right now it's So I was outside a little bit earlier and it was beautiful out. The sun is shining. There's no rain or snow as of right now. Current temperature is about 41 degrees. It is a little bit breezy, so and that's going to turn into some. I guess we're moving on to the almanac. But, so anyways, the high temperature, record high in 1945 was 81 degrees. The record low is 5 degrees in 1960. The normal temperatures are about 47 for the high, 29 for the low. And what we're seeing today and this week around this time is actually completely normal. Here on our Doppler map, you can see that around Syracuse, there's absolutely no rain. It is coming from the west side, though, so maybe later we might be seeing a little bit. Northeast temperatures, it's pretty much steady across the entire northeast. They're all seeing mid-40s, high 30s, and again, that is pretty average for around this time. Closer look at the state of New York. Syracuse is about 44. Penn Yan is also 44. Out west in Buffalo is only 37, and down in Binghamton is about 39 degrees. Moving on to tonight's temperature, you can expect it to drop to about 29 degrees. It's going to be breezy. Chance of flurries, again, those flurries will not accumulate until the morning, so you won't have to worry about that snow. Tomorrow, you can expect 50% chance of snow and rain, the same flurries that you were seeing from last night. There will be similar temperatures to today, high of 43 degrees, low of 33 degrees. Now, if you would like to take a look at our 5-day temperature, we'll have that graphic coming for you shortly. So today, like I said, is about 42 degrees, low of 23-ish. Tomorrow is going to be similar temperatures, high of 44, low of 30. Friday, we're going to be seeing a little more rain and snow with similar temperatures. It's going to warm up. There's going to be more sunshine, a high of 47 degrees, low of 29. And Easter Sunday is going to be 52 degrees.
You're not going to hear anybody. IFPs will be messing up. Yo, are they coming to store? It's going to be
I don't think. Okay, yeah.
all show.
The Syracuse Orange will face #1 seeded Indiana in the Sweet 16 tomorrow night. The Orange have advanced to the Sweet 16 for the second year in a row. The Orange routed Montana in the second round of the NCAA tourney and survived a second-half rally from the California Bears in the third round to earn a Sweet 16 bid behind CJ's Fair's 18 points. The Hoosiers handled James Madison and held on against Temple, setting up a 1-versus-4 match. Cuse will have their hands full with All-American center Cody Zeller, who is averaging just under a double-double on the season. The winner will face either Miami or Marquette in the Elite Eight. For the first time in history of the NCAA tournament, a number 15 seed has advanced to the Sweet 16. Florida Gulf Coast will face the 3-seeded Florida Gators on Friday. The Eagles single-handedly ruined numerous brackets and shocked the nation when they defeated the 2nd-seed Georgetown Hoyas in the second round and looked nothing like a 15 seed when they defeated San Diego State in the third round. The Eagles will face a tough defense in the Gators, who have made the Sweet 16 for the third year in a row. The Buffalo Bills and former Syracuse football head coach Doug Marrone may be reuniting with a familiar face. The Bills are in need of a quarterback after releasing starter Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the answer could be former Orange quarterback Ryan Nassib. Many mock drafts have Nassib going the second round to the Buffalo Bills, and Nassib and the Orange won the back-to-back Pinstripe Bowls under Doug Marrone and helped turn the football program in the right direction. Currently, Mel Kiper Jr. of ESPN has Nassib as the third best quarterback available in this year's draft. The Syracuse Crunch head coach will be making a big jump as he gets ready to coach in the big leagues. John Cooper has been named as the next head coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The move is somewhat of a promotion for Cooper, as the Crunch are the minor league team for the Lightning. Tampa Bay is hoping to turn around a lockout-shortened season where they are currently 5 games under 500 and in danger of missing the playoffs. Rob Zetter will replace Cooper as Crunch head coach.
Thank you very much, Shane. We will be right back.
Syracuse basketball enters the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in the last 5 years this Thursday.
They face off against the Indiana Hoosiers. NCC News looks back on the last time these two teams met in the tournament, a 74-73 loss for the Orange in the 1987 championship game. Take a listen.
I remember being deflated when Keith Smart hit that shot, so much so that I haven't been able to hear the name Keith Smart since, even though he's gone on to a successful coaching career, without wincing.
I've never seen a better shot.
Defense was good, and if you look at it,
Yeah.
look at Ronnie Cycli blocking out too. It was perfect, but so was Steve Alford.
Yeah.
They had perfect boxing out.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. But you talk about just making a money shot with, 4 seconds left. I don't think it gets any better. Not in the final.
Arriving at the Final Four site in New Orleans was someplace very special to see our school on that stage. And to be sitting just a few rows away from the court for the finals when your school was in the finals is one of my favorite experiences.
Well, that was quite an unfortunate day for Syracuse, but they have redemption against the Indiana Hoosiers this Thursday. Think they're going to get the win, Marquise?
Honestly, I think they will. I mean, if they had me, I think they'd have better chances, but they're going to be all right.
Yeah, I know you can hit a good jumper or two, but I don't think they're going to put you on the court for this one. Sorry.
Probably not.
They're not calling you up.
Probably
That's
not.
all we have time for today. For continuing coverage, check out nccnewsonline.com. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Luther.
I'm Marquise Francis. Have a good night, Syracuse.